Hi, welcome to Hinkle Fieldhouse. My name is Matt Johnson. I'm the Director of Strength and Conditioning here for men's basketball at Butler University. I started using KINEXON in 2019, and I'm here today to share my experience and how we use the system. When we were looking for a technology to integrate here at Butler, we did a lot of research, various companies. KINEXON stood out to us because of the basketball-specific metrics. It's widely used in the best league in the world, the NBA, but also the team of people behind it, the sports scientists, the support staff, unbelievable customer service, and the research and the development of the technology really stood out to us and why we ultimately chose to go with KINEXON. You know, the head coach belief and advocacy in the system is huge. Here we're lucky. Coach Jordan is just an unbelievable advocate for the system, loves the information. Looking back where we started, it started with a lot of education, just conversations around a table about how we could be better and what we could use to be better. KINEXON was one of those things. What I love about the technology is you are no longer going off of feel, you are going off of fact. You look at the demand of college basketball, the amount of stress that's put on a player's body. You have 100 practices, 40 games, just an unbelievable amount of stress. KINEXON helps us quantify that. The information that we receive helps us drive us in terms of how we practice in season, in between games, how we prepare, and also how we train. You know, if there's different things we could do in the weight room to mitigate stress and make those really important and timely decisions. I've used a lot of technology over the course of my career, and KINEXON is one of the easiest, most streamlined technologies I've worked with. It makes my job easier. I'm not a sports scientist, I'm a strength coach by trade, but it's a system that any strength coach that doesn't have a number of years of education in sports science, they could run it. It really is that easy to use. In terms of putting the sensors in, it's a part of our pre-practice routine. Typically, before practice, we'll have a countdown clock 20 minutes before the start of practice. I'll be out on the floor. Typically, the guys are stretching or shooting. I'll go around and make sure that it's all set and ready to go. And then when we huddle it up, when coach walks out on the floor, the sensors are loaded up and ready. Post-practice, I'll typically set the tray on our scores table here. After we do our cool down, our foam roll, our stretch, the guys will really, a lot of them have become good at taking it out themselves. They'll pop it out and they'll just throw it in the tray and hit the cold tub. What's really cool is we have an unbelievable group of student athletes here, tremendously trusting, have bought into the system. Very interested too. You know, they commonly ask, "Hey, coach, what does this collect?" And my answer always is a lot. You know, I've brought a few down just to show them, like, "Hey, this is how many miles you do in shell drill, or this is how many miles you did yesterday in practice." And they'll put it together and they'll tie, "Hey, that's why I was sore. That's why I was a little bit tight this morning." And my point to that is exactly, that's why I need to spend more time with our athletic training staff, our sports medicine professionals, foam rolling, stretching, more recovery modalities. So when they can kind of see the stress of the game and just the quantifiable evidence that there is a load and the stress on their body, I think that helps drive different decisions in recovery. We obviously want to build a robust athlete in my space, in the weight room, in the off season, and we want to carry that through the competitive season. So if we see, you know, there's a spike and there was a high stress day, a high load day, what's really key is what we do the next day. making the necessary changes to hit that valley, have our low day be low, and so our guys can actively recover to regenerate to compete again. One thing I love about the technology is just you don't even feel like you have it on your body. A lot of other technologies that I've used in the past, there's straps and there's torso wearables where you're wearing it on your upper body. What I've found, basketball players, they don't like that. They feel like it affects their shooting, and they're constantly adjusting and grabbing at the strap during play. Sometimes even a sensor may pop out, right? And so then you're searching for that sensor under the bleachers. But with KINEXON, it's housed in the pocket in the shorts, and I don't know how much it weighs, but it feels like a feather, and the athletes don't even know that it's on their body. So I think that's one really standout part of the technology is just how you wear it, how it's on your person when you're competing. Accuracy is really impressive just in terms of the speed metrics. I'm always constantly looking at those, the jump metrics. I'll frame a play in my mind and I'll say, you know what, like that does look like that athlete's top speed, or that does look like their max jump. It's fascinating that such a small piece of technology can collect all that. And just a credit to all the support staff and people that created the hardware. The dashboard, in comparison to other softwares I've worked with, I think KINEXON has done a really good job of making it simple and streamlined and easy to use. You could click through and generate a report in a really short amount of time, email that report to the coaches, probably within 15 minutes of practice being over. And for me, it's all about time and efficiency. That really helps me out in between training sessions, practices, travel, just the grind of the season is really great in that regard. And what I love about the software too is the individual thresholds and the values that you can create. We can put in individual top speeds. We can put in individual max jump height. So when we're looking at a exertion band, we're actually seeing like, okay, wow, that is close to that individual's max or true threshold of speed or power. One success story that really stands out in terms of how we use KINEXON to our advantage is last season. Last season was tough. I know it was tough on a lot of coaches, the COVID season. We had a lot of stoppages, and that was really difficult to manage and to get through. But KINEXON was there. We had athletes in 14-day quarantines, and we had to lace them up and get our team ready to get on the road and compete against a Big East opponent. And KINEXON really helped us in terms of our return to play post-COVID. We had everything managed in terms of day one, drills, specific load values, low load intensities, and day two being a little bit higher. And we basically just stacked it up. So we had a 5-day return to play where it was all independently driven through the data that we were receiving from the KINEXON training load. And looking back at it, if we didn't have a technology like KINEXON to specifically quantify what we were putting on our players in terms of stress coming back from COVID, that illness, I don't know what we would have been doing. I think we probably would have been doing a lot of guessing. So it was nice to know that we had facts and we had realistic data to go off of. At the end of the day, for anybody in the world of performance is to put yourself at the best chance to compete and to win. That's why I think KINEXON can be integrated with any system. I mean, that's why we do this. We want to put ourselves in the best position to win a national championship or win a conference championship. You don't need a staff of 4 sports scientists. The support and the resources within KINEXON, they can guide you and they can set you up to be successful with using the system. I know they really helped me out 2 years ago. But you look at just the course of an athlete's career. They probably started playing competitively probably 8th grade, and where they are now as a junior or senior in college. A lot of accumulated stress and mileage on the body. For us, in one competitive season, which is about 6 months of time, we'll have athletes tip the scales of over 450 miles. If you look at somebody in terms of an 8th grader to a college senior, I don't know that number, but that number is certainly massive. So how can we work hard when we need to work hard and rest when we need to rest, and put those athletes in the best position to be competitive? If you want to be the best, you got to use the best, and KINEXON is the best when it comes to sports technology. Go Dogs!